Welcome back to the Mayorverse, everybody. Midnight Mayor, aka Mayor Reynolds here. About to give you guys my impressions of DEADROP Snapshot 6. I posted a video on the channel late last night going over all the new features of Snapshot 6, everything new that Midnight Society announced, and I have to say, guys, I'm still excited. A full day later, I'm still hyped. I can't believe how much this team keeps exceeding expectations. Not only meeting, but exceeding. And I'm going to give you my impressions of Snapshot 6 now. I'm going to show you some gameplay from my stream last night that was on Twitch. I'm Mayor Reynolds over there. Go give me a follow. Before we get into it, I'm also giving away a tower key, the new form of access to play the DEADROP. All you have to do is hit the link down in the description below. You basically have to follow me on some socials to enter, and somebody's going to win access to DEADROP via the tower key. So go do that after you watch this video. Make sure if you've played the game as well, Snapshot 6, make sure you leave me your thoughts and your feedback in the comments down below. We know the Midnight Society's been big on community feedback, listening to us and reading this stuff. So let's get into it. Okay, guys. So again, my gameplay from my stream is running here last night. As you can see, first things first, let's just start with the obvious. You're looking at it right now. This game's visuals and everything about it have improved massively. The map, cold storage, got a huge visual overhaul. Thematically, it feels different. It is now essentially skinned. It's not finished. It's not polished. But it is much more close to the vision of what the final game is going to look like. And they've absolutely nailed this cyberpunk, gritty, it's the year 2020B, kind of an alternate universe kind of thing. So it's technically not futuristic, but it feels that way. It's like that 1980s, 1990s version of the future, something like a Judge Dredd style future, something like that. Just look at this skybox in this footage here. It looks absolutely amazing. Obviously, it's not finished. Like I said, they still have work. But the map is unique. It doesn't feel like something that's from another existing FPS, especially in the extraction shooter space. It's got a vibe all its own. It definitely feels Dr. Disrespect-like. Obvious improvements here. The game is being built on Unreal Engine 5. Confirms that ray tracing will be coming. This isn't the finished visuals. Again, they have a long way to go. But already, like, the progress that they've made, this game's been in development for 1 year. Is amazing. We have 6 finished gun models in the game, our first skins. Overall, from a visual standpoint, this is a massive step forward, a massive improvement, and you can basically play this game from a visual standpoint, even though, it has some rough edges. Not everything is super amazing and crispy visually. Like I said, they got a long way to go. You can basically play this game. It doesn't feel too much different from playing other games visually. They got some work to do, but this is a giant step forward. It looks great, and I can't say enough good things about how far they've already come with this. So next up, let's talk about the map itself, cold storage. It is essentially, if you've played the previous snapshots, it is a heavily modified and obviously totally new coat of paint version of the Proving Grounds, which was the previously unskinned, so to speak, map that we had. But it is quite a bit different. A, the new aesthetic makes it feel entirely different. But B, it is actually different. There's new ways up to traverse up. There's a lift at the top of the map. The helicopter extraction is an actual thing now. There's new bridges and changes to the way you move around the map. Like I said, different pieces of cover. It's different. You can definitely, at certain times, if you played previous snapshots a lot, you will be like, oh yeah, this area feels familiar, but by and large, it feels like an entirely new environment, just with some old landmarks. But obviously, they look totally new with the new visuals. And overall, I do like the map. I think it's very fun, and they really turned on, even more than in the snapshots, the whole vertical element. It's huge in this. Everybody was trying to get to the top of this lift, hold that high ground, wait for the lift to come down and extract, which is the final way to extract, by the way. There's a multitude of ways to extract, which I love. There's the helicopter, which only one person can get in, very action movie-like. There's the zip line, which is probably the easiest and maybe least risky, except for the mag locks, which sometimes randomly populate. I mean, they don't randomly populate. They're just there. It's a door that you can go out. It sends off a signal to everybody around you, so people know you're extracting. Obviously, people are going to know the helicopter's here. It flies in at random times. It doesn't just sit there. It flies in so everybody can see. So there might be people trying to take you out if you go that way. And then there's obviously the lift, like I just mentioned, which once the doors open, that's it. It's the final extraction, and the doors close, and everybody on there can ride up. Will everybody in there survive? Will everybody actually make a truce? So far, I have not seen that. I had a lot of, oh, truce, 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 peaceful, I'm friendly, and then 30 seconds, a minute later, oh, I'm not so friendly anymore. They're all killing each other. But it's a very interesting social element, and it's also the verticality again. It's absolutely huge. It's why, a big reason why this game actually feels different to play. While I've got it on screen here, here's the new menu and UI system. The in-game visor Cortexes are in for us founders. You just saw mine right there. Little small quality of life improvement, and I'll get the quality of life improvements a little later in the video. Gunplay itself has massively improved since DEADROP Snapshot 4. The sniper rifle still feels essentially the same to me, still feels really strong. It's still the strongest weapon by far. However, the ARs definitely feel better to shoot. They feel crisper, more satisfying. And, you know, in Snapshot 4, I would say some of the ARs, at times, you would be shooting them and you felt like you had to lead your shots almost a little bit. Almost like the bullets were almost at times like delayed or something like that. I don't know how to describe the ballistics of it. But in Snapshot 5, they feel much, much, much better. The guns handle better. They animate better. They're better to actually shoot and kill people with. Much closer to like the gunplay that you'd expect if you're coming from, you know, a quote-unquote finished game, which is great. The shotguns, which was my biggest point of my biggest sore point under the previous meta and Snapshot 4, so to speak, are definitely improved. They do much more damage. They're much more consistent. You can actually rely on them now. Sniper and rifles in general are still better in my opinion, but the shotguns are actually serviceable now, and they're not just like a meme that you just kind of want to leave on the ground. Again, the multiple forms of extraction create a lot of fun decisions and kind of play style choices as well. Do you want to take a risk? Do you want to go for the safe thing with the zip line? Depending on what loot you have, you know, in your backpack, it might change. Do I want to go over there? Do I want to take the short route? Do I want to try to take a bigger risk? So much to talk about here, guys. Let's talk about the Rising Cold, which is a brand new feature. I love this feature. I made a video several times considering whether they would do something like this. And again, it plays into the verticality of the map. And that is a Rising Cold. And cold storage, at least, that's what it is. For all we know, every sector may have a different element. Maybe a different sector will have fire. Maybe a different sector will have oxygen issues. I mean, who knows, right? Maybe it'll just be all Rising Cold. Who knows? But here, what we have is at some point in the game, as you can see on the screen, there is a countdown in the bottom corner that tells you which stage of extraction you are on. And it also notifies you when the Rising Cold is beginning. What the Rising Cold is, essentially ice that works its way up the map. And as you're watching it, it's really cool. It's a cool visual effect to see this ice slowly taking over the tower. This pushes players upward into each other. You can't just kind of hang out at the bottom of the map all day. You have to move. You can't just stay anywhere. You can't camp. And it's no joke. It's not like, you know, in games like PUBG and Apex Legends, both of which I love, right? But you can stay in a circle for like quite a while and just heal through it. It's even a strategy in certain games to spend a ton of time in the blue zone or the red zone or whatever and attack people from within the zone where they're not going to expect it or they can't see you. There's no messing with the Rising Cold. You really have to run from it. It kills you very, very, very quickly. I love this element of it. I didn't die to it too much. It's not like you can't escape it. The game gives you plenty of ways to, you know, deal with it. by climbing, by taking stairs, by taking lifts, zip lines. You have options. It's not like you're just going to get totally screwed by the rising cold. Like some battle royales do with circles, you might feel like you're getting screwed by the circle or whatever. But it's a nice element. It's cool to watch. It's a great gameplay element. I love that it's upping the stakes and the risk factor, so to speak. And I love that they implemented it. And I'm very curious to see if they do different styles of this, like I said, like fire or something else, as the game goes on and future snapshots come out. Now, another big change is the sin system. And I did not expect this snapshot at all. But it's a lot of fun. It keeps the pace of game going. If you haven't heard, sins is what they're called, or synthetics, are basically DeadDrop's version of, it's synthetic robots, that kind of thing. But they're not actually robots in the game right now. So what it is when you first drop into the tower, when you first go to play DeadDrop, when you first enter play the round, you get into the map, you get into cold storage. You are either a variant or a claw. You're a human who's dropping in to get loot, fight other variants and claws, so on and so forth. And then when you die, unlike a battle royale game or a lot of other extraction shooters, when you die, the game's not over. You were granted the option of coming back as a sin. That's essentially what it boils down to, is a respawn system, and you can respawn up to twice. And what this does is it creates an element of, okay, if you just got in the game and you died very quickly, the game's not over. Like, you can continue to kind of respawn. It'll respawn you in a different place, so to speak. And then you can actually, do you want to kind of start fresh and try to get some loot and get out? Or do you want to go for the guy who killed you, get back to that same spot and get your stuff back? Maybe you had a sniper rifle with an awesome scope on it, or one of the guns with the new skins on them. You're like, I'm not leaving that. You can go back and try to challenge the same person, go back to the same area, or again, just try to get some sweet revenge. And I was very surprised that this is already in the game. It definitely helps the flow of the game. It's not, okay, you die, you're out. It's something that makes it feel a little bit more, again, blending genres. We're like extraction shooter, battle royale, arena shooter, kind of blending all in one. There's elements of all of them, and it feels great. And Midnight Society confirmed on their website, actually, that in the future, we'll be able to customize our Sins look. I don't know if that'll be via skins or just, different customizations that they will offer everybody. Who knows? Probably both down the road, right? But again, another form of customization, which sounds good, to say the least. I'm so glad to hear, because it's a game changer. And I actually think that this is good, because in many extraction shooters, they can be very difficult for new players to get into, right? You drop in, you walk around for 5 minutes, you get instantly killed, and you're like, well, that sucks. I didn't do anything, I didn't get anything, I lost all my stuff. For new players, having that ability to respawn via a sin, I think is a very smart game design choice. And again, it gives you a chance for revenge and stuff, which is also a cool kind of social element of the game. For us variants, again, the visor cortexes are in. That's great. Nothing to complain about. Cool point of pride for those of us who have them. And then the tower key, if you haven't heard yet, is also available. Now, for new players to buy access to the game, which will be free eventually when it comes out. I'm thinking, by the way, that 2024 is going to be when this game kind of launches, because Season 0, according to the Midnight Society website, is currently planned for 2024. And there's a battle pass in the tower key. So I'm thinking this will go free to play or free to access. Doesn't mean the game will be done, I guess, but we'll kind of officially kick off with Season 0. I'm guessing fall 2024, but maybe summer 2024. Who knows? They're moving at such an incredible pace, and they keep exceeding my expectations. So who knows, right? Just a couple other quick notes before we get on to other quality of life and audio discussions, actually. The hideout was currently not in the game, nor is the garage. They've left that behind in Snapshot 4, but they're both returning. It's coming back. They're reworking the hideout. Hideouts are confirmed to be customizable in the future whenever they return. I don't know what other new features are going to be added to it. Again, the garage is in there, and they actually had a hint in this month's variant guide, or this snapshots variant guide, I should say, about the car. And I really think, you know, we've been asked this question, and there's a video on this channel about what are we going to do with our cars in Dead Drop. And I think one of the forms of extraction on future maps may be via your car. That's my guess. Your car, which you get to, you know, pick your skins on, customize. I think you're going to be able to loot parts and stuff like that, extract with them. That's my guess. Just a guess. That's my speculation. Also, the in-game items such as healing and smoke grenades, the first two in-game consumables, they feel good. Having actual health instead of having to run to a health station, which are still in the game, by the way, and now look like cool arcade cabinets. It changes the flow of combat a lot, and I'm glad that we have consumable health now, because when you're low, now you actually have options to heal yourself instead of having to run all the way to who knows where and risk your life when you've got 4 hit points just to find a healing station or whatever. The quality of life improvements. Fall damage has been reduced pretty significantly. In Snapshot 4, you could die really quickly. It's much better now. I don't, every time I need to jump off of a ledge, I don't feel like I'm risking my life. I feel like I can actually, you know, drop down to get a drop on somebody and attack them without probably insta dying, which is a very good thing. Armor and helmet system is in the game. There's obviously reductions in damage. There's light, medium, and heavy, which makes sense. They all have different looks to them. And this is, again, I think it's an improvement. Having armor with different values is a good thing. And I also think that it makes, you know, like the sniper rifle, for example, was a one-shot kill in the previous snapshot at virtually all ranges, all times. The helmet and body armor system changes that, and I think that's a, you know, a good thing. Other stuff, you can now equip your attachments in game when you loot them. You don't need to extract with them. You don't need to then equip them in your hideout or anything. You can put them right on during the game from your backpack, which is a big improvement as well. Corner peeking has been added to the game, just like PUBG or Rainbow Six or a game like that, where you hit Q or E when you're aimed down sight and you can peek around the corner instead of having to actually run around the corner to kind of hold a position and hold cover. The looting as far as the items that are on the ground has been improved greatly over Snapshot 4, in my opinion. You have access to many more weapons and attachments now. In previous snapshots, it seemed like pistols and shotguns were like absolutely everywhere, and ARs and a sniper were really hard to come by. Sniper still feels hard to come by, and it should, because it's the strongest weapon in the game. But I felt like I could find weapons that I could really defend myself with much quicker. And the only critique that I have there is that I would like to be able to find more sights and scopes. I'd still like to be able to find more of those. They seem pretty rare right now, but overall the loot density is much improved over Snapshot 4, or the loot variety, I guess I could say. And then you can also see who you kill a lot easier in the game, and there's just a little small quality of life improvements all over the place like that, so you see the name of the player you killed easier, how many kills you have easier. The menus and the UI in general is just improved all around. There's a lot of small stuff like that. That just shows, again, they're taking small steps with every single snapshot and improving everything across the board. Audio, proximity chat, still great. I had a ton of players using it in different ways to make jokes, to bait players, running from players, tons of stuff. The directional audio still works the best of any game that I've played between both proximity chat and gunfire. With audio, one thing right now that I would definitely like to see is different gun sounds. I'd like to see the actual gunfire sounds re-recorded or improved, so to speak. And I kind of think that a lot of them are placeholders right now, with the exception of the sniper, which sounds really good. But we'll see. We'll see. As far as audio goes, I do feel that gunshots, sometimes you can't hear them, even though I feel like you should be able to hear them at times. Like, I see the guy shooting. If I can see him shooting, I should be able to hear him shooting. But sometimes the distance from where I was and where the other player was seemed to be like muting the gunshots. Like, not just muffling, but muting. I'd like to see that improved. But with all that said, guys, this snapshot is so exciting. Like, I'm so hyped. I can't believe how fast Midnight Society and this game DEADROP have been progressing. This is a huge step forward. It exceeds my expectations in every single regard. And I'm not just saying that to hype you guys up. I really believe that Midnight Society is changing the way that games are developed, that we're really getting a look at the future of game development here. And I'm going to keep covering it like crazy on this channel, which is why you should subscribe and get ready for my next several videos. I've got so many videos planned already. We're going to be doing a video about the weapon meta in Snapshot 5, the UGC mode, which is essentially their creative mode or forge mode that they announced last night, my expectations and hopes and dreams for Snapshot 6. We got so much to talk about, guys, and it's all happening here on the Midnight Mayor channel. Let me know what you think of Snapshot 5 down in the comments. Enter the giveaway if you're watching this. We'll see you in the next video. I'm gonna go live and stream more DEADROP over on Twitch almost immediately after this video is posted. So come join me over there. This has been Midnight Mayor, aka Mayor Reynolds.